What if I told you there's a breed of men so unpredictable, so unconventional, that society just can't figure them out? Ever been told you're weird just because you don't chase the crowd, or wondered why you're always misunderstood even though you're just being you? Once a guy walked into a room, didn't say a word, and yet every eye followed him. He wasn't rich, he wasn't famous, he just had this presence. That silent intensity, that sigma energy, a quiet storm. That, my friends, was a sigma male. And society didn't know what to do with him. Sigma males break all the traditional molds. They don't crave validation. They're not looking to dominate like alphas or follow like betas. Instead, they create their own lane and walk it, alone if they have to. Psychology even supports this. Studies in personality theory show that sigma-like traits such as high introversion, strategic independence, and deep thinking often correlate with success in leadership and creativity. Today, we're diving into 12 crazy things sigma males do that confuse everyone. These aren't just quirks, they're insights into a mind that values freedom over fame and depth over drama. Let's unravel this enigma and see what makes the sigma male the ultimate wild card. Number one, they disappear without warning and love it. Sigmas don't ghost, they vanish. 1 minute they're fully present, laughing at a joke or observing from the corner, and the next, gone. No warning, no dramatic exit, just silence. It leaves people confused, sometimes even offended, because most are conditioned to expect closure or a proper goodbye. But sigma males aren't driven by social expectations. They move on instinct and inner alignment, not obligation. This behavior isn't about disrespect, it's about preservation. Sigmas are introverted alphas. They operate in bursts of social energy, but prolonged exposure drains them. Psychologically, this is rooted in how introverts recharge through solitude. Research from the Journal of Personality shows that introverts often experience social fatigue quicker than extroverts. For a sigma, slipping away unnoticed is not a snub, it's a survival tactic. Their disappearing act is also strategic. Like Batman, they don't need the limelight. They observe, act, and retreat. And in that retreat, they regain clarity, recalibrate their focus, and come back stronger. It's not coldness, it's discipline. A sigma male values his mental space more than meaningless small talk, and if that means vanishing without a trace, so be it. He isn't seeking approval, he's seeking peace, and that's his real power. Number two, they ignore social hierarchies completely. CEO, janitor, influencer, farmer. Sigmas treat everyone the same, and that disrupts the very hierarchy society depends on. In a world built on titles, ranks, and social clout, this is radical. Most people are conditioned to either seek approval from those above them or exert dominance over those below. But Sigmas don't follow that script. They view everyone as human first. Whether you're cleaning the floors or closing million-dollar deals, they'll judge you by your integrity, not your status. This attitude confuses people. Why isn't the Sigma groveling before the CEO or trying to impress the Instagram star? Because they genuinely don't care about the label. They care about authenticity. Studies in psychology suggest that people with high levels of self-differentiation, those who maintain their identity regardless of social pressure, are less likely to be influenced by status games. That's Sigma behavior in a nutshell. Imagine a black tie event. While others swarm the rich and famous, the Sigma might be chatting with the janitor about philosophy or asking the bartender about his dreams. That's not rebellion, that's sincerity. And in a society addicted to power and validation, this kind of level-headed respect is not just rare, it's revolutionary. Number three, they never ask for validation, ever. Sigmas are allergic to approval seeking, and that's not just a catchy phrase, it's a deeply rooted trait in their psychology. In today's digital age, social validation has become the currency of self-worth. People obsess over likes, retweets, and comments, often equating popularity with purpose. But Sigmas, they reject that game entirely. While the world is busy curating highlight reels, Sigmas are building the real thing, quietly, consistently, and without the need for applause. They don't post "felt cute," might delete later selfies because their identity isn't up for public vote. Their self-worth doesn't come from social media engagement, but from personal growth, achievements, and silent discipline. This behavior aligns with studies in psychology showing that those with an internal locus of control, people who believe they control their own destiny, tend to be more successful and emotionally resilient. It's confusing to outsiders because the Sigma's power doesn't scream, it whispers. They don't chase claps, they create waves. And here's the twist. That quiet confidence, it's magnetic. People are drawn to those who don't need validation to feel valuable. In a noisy world, sigmas are the calm force that others can't help but notice. That's the real flex. Number 4, they love small groups or complete aloneness. Forget networking events or huge social mixes. Sigma males thrive in meaningful one-on-one conversations or deep solitude. This isn't about being antisocial, it's about rejecting anything inauthentic. Sigma males don't waste energy on surface-level chatter. They crave conversations that challenge ideas, stir emotions, and tap into real human experiences. Psychologists have noted that introverted personalities, especially those who exhibit high levels of self-awareness and independence, hallmarks of the Sigma archetype, tend to recharge in solitude. This downtime isn't emptiness, it's a mental reset. In those quiet moments, Sigma males aren't isolating, they're recalibrating, reflecting, and refining their next move. Research also shows that deep thinkers often require solitude to access creative insight. For Sigmas, this silence is sacred ground, the place where their most powerful ideas are born, and because they operate from such a centered internal place, people often struggle to read them. They don't project their emotions like others. Their energy is subtle but potent, tuned to a frequency few are aware of, let alone understand. So while others hustle for attention in crowded rooms, Sigma males are quietly building empires, either in deep dialogue or silent clarity. They don't need the spotlight, they are the signal in a world full of noise. Number 5, they're fierce observers, not big talkers. You'll often find a Sigma male sitting quietly, not awkwardly but intentionally. While others might feel the need to chatter just to fill the air, the Sigma chooses silence with purpose. He's not disengaged, he's observing. Every glance, tone, and gesture is being logged in his mental database. He's reading the room like a chessboard, planning his next move, not for manipulation, but for precision. This behavior is rooted in strong emotional intelligence and heightened situational awareness. Studies in psychology show that people who listen more than they speak tend to make better decisions and are perceived as more trustworthy. That's exactly what the Sigma taps into, and then it happens. He speaks, not often, but when he does, it lands with weight. His words are measured, impactful, and often cut through the fluff with brutal honesty. This directness can make some uncomfortable, especially those used to sugar-coated conversations, but it also commands respect. People begin to realize his quiet isn't emptiness, it's calculation. His silence isn't shyness, it's strength. In a world full of noise, the Sigma's calm, deliberate presence stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. He doesn't need to shout to be heard. His silence is his strategy. Number 6, they make unpredictable life choices. That Sigma who left a 6-figure job to live in a cabin in the woods? Yeah, him. He's not crazy, he's calculated. Sigmas aren't interested in following society's well-worn blueprints. They follow something far deeper, purpose. While most are obsessed with climbing the corporate ladder, a Sigma pauses and asks, why are we all building the same life? Research shows that job satisfaction isn't always linked to salary. In fact, a 2022 study by McKinsey found that 70% of employees said their work defined their sense of purpose, not their paycheck. Sigmas understand this on an instinctive level. They chase freedom over fame, solitude over spotlight, and meaning over money. Their unpredictability makes them powerful. Society struggles to define them, and that's the point. While others seek validation, Sigmas move silently, driven by an inner compass few can comprehend. Their path isn't rebellious for the sake of it, it's intentional. Choosing to live in a cabin isn't about escaping life, it's about embracing it on their terms. That rare kind of boldness confuses some and inspires others. Because when a Sigma walks away from everything society values, he often discovers something far more valuable himself. Would you choose purpose over paycheck? Number 7, they're impervious to peer pressure. Sigmas don't care about fitting in, and that's one of the things that sets them apart. Unlike those who seek approval through conformity, Sigmas follow their own values, not the opinions of others. They don't dress to impress, they dress to express their true selves, reflecting their unique identity. Their choices aren't influenced by societal pressures or trends. They wear what resonates with them, not what's expected. When it comes to social interactions, Sigmas are authentic. They won't laugh at a joke simply to fit in, especially if it's not funny to them. They don't engage in surface-level conversations or pretend to agree just to avoid conflict. For Sigmas, authenticity is key, and they are willing to stand apart to stay true to themselves. This kind of independence can make others uneasy. People who thrive on conformity feel threatened by Sigma's refusal to comply with societal norms. But here's the thing, Sigma's authenticity is a gift to others. It frees those around them to be more genuine too. They inspire others to embrace their uniqueness and reject the pressure to conform, creating space for a more authentic and liberated environment for all. Number 8, they master many skills alone. Sigmas are the ultimate DIY warriors. Whether it's learning to play the guitar, coding an app, or picking up a completely new skill, Sigmas are the ones who dive in headfirst and learn everything on their own. They don't rely on formal education, classrooms, or instructors. Instead, they spend hours on tutorials, practice relentlessly, and push themselves to master new abilities in complete silence. Take learning an instrument, for instance. A Sigma will binge-watch tutorials for months, studying every technique, then practice every day until their fingers are sore. They're not seeking external validation. They do it because they're driven by personal growth and satisfaction. Similarly, if a Sigma decides to learn how to code, they'll spend time building their own apps, figuring out solutions to complex problems, and gaining expertise before ever asking for help or even showing anyone what they've been working on. Why do they do this? Because learning in silence is their superpower. Unlike those who need validation or external recognition to feel motivated, Sigmas thrive when they can explore their own interests quietly and independently. The process of self-teaching allows them to master skills without the pressure or distractions of others. There's no classroom environment, no need for approval, and no competition, just pure focus on personal growth. What others often don't realize is how quietly brilliant Sigmas are. While they might not flaunt their talents, when the time comes to showcase their skills, they do so with such confidence and mastery that it catches everyone by surprise. That's the Sigma way. Learn, master, and then quietly wow the world with their capabilities. Number 9, they challenge norms without raising their voice. Sigmas don't lead protests. Instead, they live rebelliously. Rather than demanding change through loud speeches or public demonstrations, they reject tradition quietly but powerfully. They make deliberate choices that defy societal norms, whether it's in their career, lifestyle, or appearance, often with a sense of calm confidence that makes it look effortless. This kind of silent rebellion is more impactful than it might seem. It doesn't need to be loud to be noticed. When a Sigma male rejects the standard path, whether it's in their unconventional career choices, unique fashion, or independent way of thinking, they send a clear message. It's a message that resonates deeply, especially in a world that often pressures individuals to follow the herd. What's fascinating about Sigmas is that their rebellion doesn't scream for attention, it simply exists. This quiet courage, this subtle defiance, confuses people because it's not aggressive, yet it's deeply inspiring. By living authentically, Sigmas show others that it's possible to break free from societal expectations and live life on their own terms. In doing so, they inspire others to find their own path of individuality and freedom. Number 10, they're friendly but impossible to get close to. People are drawn to Sigmas. Their intriguing, magnetic personalities capture attention, and their charm can be irresistible. However, just when someone thinks they've gotten close, the Sigma suddenly establishes distance, creating an emotional boundary that can leave others puzzled. So why do Sigmas behave this way? It's simple. They value trust above all else. After facing betrayal or hurt in the past, Sigmas become cautious about who they let into their inner world. To them, trust isn't something easily earned. It's a sacred element that can't be bought with surface-level interest. They don't just open up to anyone. They require authenticity, consistency, and time. This guarded approach can confuse others, especially when they mistake it for arrogance or aloofness. But for Sigmas, it's not about creating walls to keep people out. Instead, it's a protective measure designed to preserve their peace of mind. They understand that true connection comes only when mutual respect and trust have been established. And until then, they remain selective about who gets access to their vulnerable side. This balance of independence and trust is what makes the Sigma so compelling, yet elusive. Number 11, they value silence more than talk. Awkward silence? not for Sigma males. In fact, silence is their secret weapon. While most people might feel uncomfortable during quiet moments, Sigmas thrive in them. Imagine spending an hour in complete silence with someone, yet feeling closer than after a long, drawn-out conversation. That's the Sigma experience. Many of us have been taught that meaningful connections require constant conversation, but Sigmas understand something deeper. They bond not through words, but through energy, presence, and vibes. They don't need to fill every space with talk. Their connection is felt, not heard. It's an unspoken understanding that creates a rare, genuine bond. Sigmas are masters of comfort in silence. They don't need to talk to prove their connection or validate their presence. This ability to be still and at ease is something that most people struggle with. In a world filled with noise and constant chatter, finding someone who can sit in silence with you and still share a strong bond is incredibly rare and real. This isn't about being distant or disinterested. Instead, it's about being so comfortable in one another's presence that silence becomes an intimate form of communication. It's a reminder that the most powerful connections don't always need words, just genuine energy. Number 12, they don't compete, they create. Sigmas aren't interested in competing with others. Instead, they're laser-focused on personal growth, striving to outdo themselves from the day before. While the world around them gets caught up in a cycle of comparison, Sigmas are busy shaping their future. They know that the real competition is with their own potential, and they channel their energy into breaking personal barriers and expanding their abilities. This mindset is both powerful and perplexing. It's powerful because Sigmas operate from a place of self-discipline and self-awareness. They recognize that their only true rival is the version of themselves that existed yesterday. By constantly challenging their own limits, they ensure progress without relying on external validation. But it's also perplexing to others because, unlike those who chase the spotlight, Sigmas often shine without ever seeking attention. They're not interested in proving themselves to anyone, they just want to improve. As a result, their achievements seem effortless and natural. While others may scramble for recognition or success, Sigmas move in silence, making strides toward greatness without a need for applause. The paradox here is clear. Sigmas don't follow conventional paths to success. They don't seek out accolades or competition. Instead, they focus inward, crafting a life that's meaningful on their own terms. And in doing so, they naturally become people that others admire.